Hello everyone and welcome back to Ruby Tarot. Thank you so much for always following and supporting the channel. The moment you are watching this video is the perfect time to receive a message. On this channel, I always bring you messages about what is about to happen in your life. When you embrace and trust in positive things, you are also connecting with a parallel world where your wishes have already come true. Today, through this reading, I hope to help you open up the possibilities of the future and support you in your journey to conquer love and manifest your dreams. Today's reading theme is what is ending and what will begin from here. Now, please choose one of the three piles. I have prepared 3 representative cards corresponding to Pile 1, Pile 2, and Pile 3. Listen to your intuition and choose the card that attracts you the most, then click on the timestamp in the description to go to your reading. Now, let's begin the reading for those who have already made their choice. Hello to those who chose Pile 1. Thank you for waiting. Now I will begin the reading for those who picked Pile number 1. I hope this reading will bring you healing, new insights, and moments full of love. Today's theme is, what is ending, and what will begin from here? First, I will share with you what is slowly coming to an end within you. That is the cycle of worries. Yes, the spiral of troubles will come to an end, and you will be able to step out of it. That is the message the cards are sending to you. So, what is the cycle of worries? It can be described as situations like, you have just solved a problem, thinking that everything is fine, and now you can enjoy life, but immediately another issue arises, causing you to return to a state of confusion. Or, it could be that you are always facing the same kind of problem, repeating over and over again without end. For example, with family matters, you want to express your feelings to be heard and understood. You have tried to open up, or perhaps the other party has initiated it, and both sides have sat down to talk, but then everything returns to the same place. Each time you try, it ends with silence, misunderstanding, or argument, even though you just want a calm, gentle conversation. That is also a cycle of suffering. It's the same in work. You change jobs, shift your career direction, but still fall into the feeling that things are not going smoothly, that you haven't found the right place yet. Or in love. Each time you start a new relationship, you place your trust, thinking that this time will be different, but then you still get hurt, still carry the pain. Even more specifically, in social relationships, you are always the one who loses out, always feeling misunderstood, taken advantage of, or not valued. Or simply, you always feel like there's a lingering sadness around you. All of these are the cycles of worries. And now, that cycle is coming to an end. Of course, no one lives a life completely free of worries. However, there are times when it feels like the worries have never truly left you. There's always something that keeps you restless. So, I encourage you to relate to your situation in the way that fits you best, because everyone listening to this reading has their own unique story. And what the cards are clearly confirming is, you can absolutely step out of this vicious cycle. This is what is about to end. The cycle of worries is coming to an end. Do you feel something in these words that resonates with you? The end of this cycle of worries, that's truly good news, isn't it? And after this ends, what will begin? The card that has just opened carries a very clear message. It says, you will begin to enter a phase where you no longer need to think so complicatedly or fearfully. An environment will open up where you can freely express your true feelings, more naturally and easily than ever before. And when you begin to live authentically, when you can speak your desires and thoughts without being held back, that is when the miracles will begin to unfold. The card appearing now is a very special one. It often appears when things that seem like miracles begin to happen. Your wishes, anything that you truly desire, will have the chance to come true. You no longer need to struggle to figure out how to make it happen, because they will naturally come to you as a reward for your transformation. The universe is opening a new stage just for you, a turning point full of promise. And that is what is about to begin. Everything will change dramatically, from the cycle of worries to living in the reality of dreams being answered. I don't know how you have been feeling while listening to this reading, or what made you choose this pile. But know that your new journey is one of liberation and awakening. Perhaps until now, you have felt as though you were trapped in a maze, always going in circles, never knowing which turn will lead you out. Now, the exit door has truly opened. The way out is right in front of you, but you still haven't seen it. Although the door is clearly ajar, you have yet to fully recognize its presence. There may be something, a vague feeling, perhaps, that has drawn you to this pile. Or maybe it's simply the green color of the reading that brings you a sense of ease and comfort. Whatever the reason may be, whether you chose this pile on a whim, what you are attracting to yourself is a completely new phase. A new chapter is waiting for you. And that is the message the cards want to convey. Now, let's dive deeper into your energy. The reason why being able to speak your truth is the beginning of this new chapter. The cards indicate that you are likely someone who is often misunderstood by others. Many situations arise that cause people to not see the true essence of who you are. This brings discomfort, even pain, because it does not reflect your true self. You are someone who lives with great effort, with high resilience, and especially, you always keep your word, knowing what to keep to yourself. Not only do you live kindly toward yourself, but you also deeply care about the actions and emotions of others. The cards clearly show that you are someone who always thinks carefully, not only for yourself, but also for those around you. One thing is certain, you never live in a way that is lenient with yourself and harsh with others. On the contrary, you tend to be more forgiving toward others, but very strict with yourself. It's highly likely that you're the type of person who sets high standards for yourself, always striving to avoid mistakes, always wanting to do what is right, to the point that you sometimes overlook your own emotions and needs. The Mountain God card has also appeared. This is a very rare card, and when it does appear, it confirms that you are a person of integrity, someone who never does anything to be ashamed of and would never act in a way that invites criticism behind your back. The things you do, whether others understand them correctly or not, come from a heart that wants to live kindly, uphold moral values, and bring goodness to those you love. Therefore, stepping into this new phase, a phase where you can freely speak your truth, is the moment when you are able to live in alignment with your beautiful true self. There's no need to be cautious, no need to fear being misunderstood. You can openly express your true self. And that is when all doors will slowly open. The reason is because you feel very uncomfortable doing anything that would make you feel ashamed. In your heart, there is always a clear feeling that no matter who looks at you, you have nothing to be ashamed of. This is a very pure and strong mindset. But that doesn't mean you don't get hurt or feel down at times. You do. It's just that people often say you are strong. And that's true. You keep secrets, you live with principles, and most importantly, you always live in a way that you don't have to be ashamed of yourself, and you never do anything that would prevent you from facing others with honesty. You are a very upright and kind person. So, what makes you easily misunderstood by others? Here, the 3 cards that were revealed are all related to intuition. Not just simple intuition, but signals coming from the spiritual realm, from the higher guiding beings who are watching over you. These cards say that you are closely protected by these higher beings, and they're sending you love along with a strong affirmation that everything will be okay. There is a clear connection between you and these sacred energies. And this is also what leads to your being misunderstood. Why? Because your intuition is incredibly sharp, to the point where you can sense exactly what others are thinking. Anyone can guess what others are thinking, but for you, most of what you feel is accurate. You have the ability to foresee things that have not yet happened and act swiftly based on that intuition. Because of this, sometimes you do things that are beyond others' expectations, or you act in a way that leaves them confused about how you knew beforehand or how you reacted the way you did. And this makes them feel puzzled. They don't know that you're acting based on a deep feeling inside, a feeling illuminated by the strong spiritual connection between you and the unseen guides. You don't just sense, you feel deeply. And because of this, you often move ahead, anticipate a thought, or act beyond the usual understanding. This sometimes causes others to misunderstand you, or even misinterpret your actions, but it's also what makes you such a unique person. Because of this, even when dealing with people you don't like, you still manage to handle interactions with great tact, at least in short-term situations. While you may feel exhausted afterward, in that moment, you know how to keep things smooth. For example, if you recognize what kind of person the other is, you'll choose a version of yourself that fits the situation, showing just enough of your personality to keep a safe distance, without fully exposing your true self or laying everything bare. You are someone who can converse and interact without necessarily confronting with blunt words or emotional confrontations. Because you can sense. You can feel when someone is slightly uncomfortable just from a glance, a breath, or a pause in the conversation. With just one casual remark, you can instantly realize, oh, maybe that comment upset them. Even if they don't speak it out, you understand. And this doesn't just happen in big situations. Even in everyday life, your intuition operates continuously. That's why, for you, emotional confrontations or straightforward arguments might not be very common. You feel it's unnecessary. You can reconcile, empathize, and adjust yourself to maintain harmony. You are someone who can sense and appreciate the feelings of others, even before they are fully aware of them. And if those around you are also like you, sensitive, caring, and able to understand others without needing to say much, then your environment would be incredibly peaceful, even ideal. However, reality is not always like that. Perhaps you've experienced a situation that was different from what you expected. The card that appears now is one that represents isolation, the Tower card. Although in this deck, the Tower doesn't necessarily carry the negative meaning it does in traditional tarot, here, the image of the card emphasizes a feeling of being separated, as if you were standing alone in your inner world, with no one really understanding or reaching you. This could be the result of you being so good at sensing others, but it's not easy for others to sense you in return. The Tower card continues to appear as a very clear symbol. From this place, emotions are surging powerfully. And yes, you are hurt. That feeling is beyond doubt. Perhaps what is happening here is, you often keep so much inside, thinking for a long time, reflecting from all angles, weighing the pros and cons, and only when you are truly sure of your answer do you decide to speak out, as a confession that comes from the very depths of your heart. Throughout this process, you have had countless inner dialogues. In your mind, you've had conversations, analyzed things, asked and answered questions, tried many times to put yourself in someone else's shoes, and measured what is right and what is wrong. But in the end, when you decide to speak up, it is usually the final moment, after all the silent struggles. And because of this, by the time you speak, everything about you, your personality, your thoughts, your feelings has only been in the realm of the other person's imagination. You understand others very well. You sense their thoughts accurately, but others don't always have the ability to sense you. Especially with those who lack keen intuition, they can easily misunderstand you. For example, let's say you're sitting with a friend having a pleasant conversation, and suddenly, a black peppercorn flies into your throat, causing you to cough slightly and furrow your brows. A perceptive person would immediately understand. Something must have gone into her throat, causing discomfort. But someone less sensitive might think, why does she suddenly seem upset with what I just said? Or another example, you want to lighten the mood, so you make a playful comment, perhaps teasing yourself or showing a bit of sharp, sarcastic personality, even though you have no negative intent. For you, it's just playing a role, adding a bit of color to the conversation. You simply want the other person to understand. I'm just creating a fun atmosphere, I don't really mean it that way. But unfortunately, not everyone is perceptive enough to grasp that. You've hoped they would understand, hoped they would sense the subtle undertone in what you say and how you act. But when that isn't met as expected, you retreat even further into your inner world, holding back more, speaking less, and once again, loneliness accumulates in your heart. When you say something that doesn't come from the bottom of your heart, but is simply meant to lighten the mood around you, you are fully aware of it. You know clearly that, that remark is just to make the conversation more lively. However, not everyone understands it this way. Some people misunderstand and think that you are genuinely that kind of person, and they take that assumption about you. Therefore, if everyone were like you, sensitive, deep, able to understand others without needing to say much, this world would be incredibly peaceful and pleasant. But reality is not like that. And I think one of your greatest struggles is the feeling of being misunderstood, being wrongly labeled in terms of your personality, even when you have no ill intent. This becomes even more painful if the person causing the misunderstanding is someone you love and cherish. In such moments, the emotions can be so intense that they make you want to disappear from this world, feeling as though, I wish I had never existed. I understand that because I share a lot in common with you. I too have been misunderstood, been seen as a bad person simply because others couldn't see the inner part of me. I've also gone through the painful experience of being treated coldly despite always living kindly and sincerely. But there are people in this world who just don't have the habit of listening to others. With these people, no matter how much you explain, they will still hold onto the false image they've created in their minds. And if you try to clarify, they will just think, you're just trying to make excuses. It's not believable. No matter how strong you are, no matter how much you say you don't care about what others think anymore, the truth is, you will still feel pain. There will still be times when you feel hurt. Because you've lived sincerely, you haven't done anything shameful, yet in the end, you are still misunderstood, still treated unfairly. It feels like you've given your heart and received only coldness in return, and that makes your heart ache. And I believe that among those listening to this reading, there must be someone who has experienced this feeling, being met with doubt from someone they trusted, being judged wrongly because of a careless comment or an expression at the wrong time. And that truly hurts. Even if that pain isn't huge, perhaps you still often feel, why can't things just go smoothly? Why do I always feel weighed down in this relationship, in this workplace, or in this new role? If you find yourself repeatedly stuck in cycles of discomfort in new relationships, then today's cards have a very gentle piece of advice for you. That is, before your emotions build up to the point of exploding, learn to express them bit by bit. Say what you feel as soon as it begins to form, like "I'm uncomfortable with that," "I feel misunderstood," or simply, "I don't think what you think." Because you are a wonderful, sensitive person, if you learn to speak up gently and at the right moment, others won't have the chance to misunderstand you anymore. Everything will be okay. Soon, you'll start to feel safer. There will be someone or a space where you can let go of your guard. You won't have to be so cautious. You won't have to protect yourself so exhaustively anymore. With that person, you'll be able to speak your truth without fearing judgment. For example, if you feel upset, you'll be able to say, "I'm uncomfortable with that," without blaming yourself, wondering, "Did I overreact? Is it my fault?" In the past, you often chose to remain silent, swallowing your emotions. You thought to yourself, "If I just endure it, everything will be over quickly, no need to make a big deal out of it." And you endured many times. But from now on, you don't have to do that anymore. You will gradually learn to say, "I don't like that way of speaking. I feel misunderstood," naturally, gently, without forcing yourself. And a space where you can be honest with yourself is coming very close. When you step into that space, everything you've been wishing for will begin to take shape. Because from that moment on, the life energy, the true vitality inside you, will be awakened. When you are no longer suppressed, when you no longer have to force yourself to maintain a false sense of harmony, that is when the energy and light within you will radiate. And at that point, all your wishes will begin to find their way to you. Naturally, gently, and deservedly. Right now, you may feel so hurt that your emotions are overflowing, almost about to explode. There are times when you blame yourself, even want to deny yourself, as if you are forcing yourself to endure it all. But the message from the cards is very clear right now. Don't give up. Once again, the message to stay strong appears. They are reminding you, don't let yourself be defeated. The Ring card, a truly wonderful card, has also appeared at this time. And it's truly special because a very strong message is being sent. You are not losing. You are the one leading the way. Even though you may be feeling invisible, pressured, or enduring unjust words from others, the cards are all standing by your side. They say that you have lived rightly, thought rightly, and you are on your true path. So, if someone is speaking badly about you, misunderstanding you, or even intentionally trying to bring you down, don't let them shake your confidence. Even if they appear to be more successful, more prominent, or living a life that seems happier, that doesn't mean they are right. Don't confuse the noise of the world with the truth in your heart. What you are doing, how you are living, all of it is being acknowledged by the spiritual world. The pairing of the Ring and the Cross cards, like a very sacred seal, shows that you are entering a phase with deep karmic meaning. Everything is unfolding according to the law of cause and effect. And on your side, you owe no one. You are not at fault. Along with that, we see the image of the moon and romance. Note that, in the Lenormand deck, the moon card does not represent ambiguity or worry as it does in tarot. Instead, it symbolizes deep emotions, recognition, and romantic connections. The cards are showing that a new environment, a space full of emotion, where you can be yourself, is beginning to open up. And in that space, you will gradually learn to express your true feelings more regularly, more naturally. No need to keep it all inside anymore, no need to mask it with polite smiles. When you start to speak your mind, even just little by little each time, from that moment, good things will begin to flow into your life. Every new relationship, every new opportunity, will flow smoothly when you are being your true self. The things that once troubled you will gradually close. The cards are making it very clear. You can say goodbye to those old struggles. And finally, for some of you, the image of the snake has also appeared. So, for the struggles you have not yet found a way out of, it is also possible that the person, the one who has prevented you from letting go, from expressing your true feelings, will be the very catalyst for change. An event may occur between you and that person, perhaps a rupture, a shock, a jolt that shakes the very foundation of your relationship. But it is precisely that moment that will be the door to your liberation. When that connection is destabilized, you will begin to feel freer, breathe easier, and gradually break free from the cycle of suffering you've been trapped in for so long. You have wanted to speak out, you've wanted to express yourself, but the environment, the circumstances, or that very person didn't give you the chance. Perhaps you've lived under control, in fear, being negated and held back. But then, that very collapse becomes the starting point for you to begin to speak up. And from that point, something wonderful happens. Your voice begins to be heard, respected, and recognized. The cards affirm that what you have thought, what you have said, was not wrong. On the contrary, those things were right, full of wisdom and dignity. If you've ever been negated, ever been called the bad one, ever been misunderstood or assigned things that are not truly you, know that all of that does not reflect the truth. The truth is, you are not the villain. You are not the one who is wrong. You are strong. You are stepping out of the darkness to take control of your own fate. You are the winner. So, don't fall into that vicious cycle anymore. Don't keep asking yourself, am I wrong? Because you are not wrong. What the cards want you to do from now on is to regularly express your emotions. Don't wait until your feelings are piled up and then say your conclusions. Practice sharing your smaller feelings bit by bit, because not everyone has the strong intuition like you to understand unspoken things, to truly feel what you keep inside. By speaking up regularly, not only will you be better understood, but it will also open the door to lasting and truly healthy relationships. From this moment on, all your wishes will begin to have the potential to become reality. So, ask yourself, what is it that you desire the most right now? And nurture that feeling of excitement, because you are getting closer than ever to a future where your wish comes true. I will conclude the reading for those who chose pile 1 here. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and support by liking the video. Your encouragement is a great source of motivation that helps me continue bringing new content. If anything in this reading resonated with you, I hope you can leave a comment or a small symbol to let me know that the message reached you. I always look forward to your comments, so don't hesitate to share your thoughts. Thank you for watching until the end of the video. I look forward to seeing you in the next readings. Hello to those who chose pile 2. Thank you for waiting. Now I will begin the reading for those who picked pile number 2. I hope this reading will bring you healing, new insights, and moments full of love. Today's theme is, what is ending and what will begin? First, I will share with you what is gradually coming to an end in your life. That is the state of stagnation, as if everything is stuck, unable to move forward. It could be the feeling of blocked energy, or you might be in a situation where you can't act, can't change anything, a process that seems completely stuck. But now, the key card has appeared to tell you that this state of stagnation is about to end. Perhaps right now you are in a phase where everything has come to a halt, or if not, you might be feeling like all the efforts you've made have been in vain, wasted. It's similar to trying your best but not seeing results, or not achieving what you desired. I feel that before this, you truly put in a lot of effort, whether in work, studies, or relationships. You kept moving forward without stopping. Although effort is a general term, I want you to understand it in a personal sense. No need to compare yourself to any common standard. You've likely gone through a journey that required a lot of physical and mental strength. And even if you're taking a break or feel like you've come to a standstill, the cards want to tell you that this is not wrong. The time you take to rest, to recharge your energy, is completely right and necessary. In the future, a card related to balance has appeared. This indicates that you are someone who tends to have very clear cycles in life. There are times when you think deeply, then come a period of intense action, of doing a lot. Everything within you moves in distinct waves, rather than a steady pace every day. For example, if someone eats a handful of rice each day to maintain stable energy, you're the type of person who would eat 2 handfuls of rice in one day and then fast for the next few days to gather strength. You do everything in cycles that are unique to you, and there's nothing wrong with that. But because of this, the periods of stillness within you often become more noticeable and uncomfortable for you. However, a new chapter is slowly opening up, where your rhythm of life will become more balanced, where the state of stagnation will dissipate. And from that moment on, the wheel of your life will begin to turn again, leading you to an entirely new journey. You tend to operate in bursts, charging up your energy, and then exploding with it. You don't maintain a steady, daily energy level. Instead, you accumulate strength, and when you're ready, you rise up strongly, like a leap. Therefore, if you're currently at a standstill, feeling like you can't move forward, or feel like you need to rest again, that's not a bad thing at all. On the contrary, it's simply the phase where you're recharging your energy for the next leap. However, the way you operate might not be understood by others. You may have felt lonely because no one really understands why you stop and that you're not giving up like they think. But today's cards are making it very clear. There's nothing wrong with you taking a pause. There's no need to feel guilty. No need to hide it. Take your pause with dignity and confidence. If others don't understand, let them be. Even if someone tells you, "How can you expect to accomplish anything in the future if you keep doing this?" It only proves that they don't understand you at all. You're not like them. And you don't need to be like anyone else. Everyone has their own rhythm, their own way of living. Your pace isn't wrong. It's just different. And you absolutely have the right to live in a way that suits your own energy. The world is changing. The way we work, the way we live, everything is becoming more flexible. It's no longer the age where only those working fixed jobs at large corporations with high-ranking positions are considered successful. You don't need to chase after those outdated definitions of success. You have your own way of shining, and you don't need anyone's permission to live that way. In fact, no one can know what will last forever. We are living in an era where everything can be reversed, changed in the blink of an eye. There is no longer such a thing as absolute safety in choices. In the past, people believed that if you chose the right job, you'd be stable for life. But now, even the things that seemed the most certain can be overturned. Even the definitions of white-collar office work or blue-collar manual labor are gradually changing in societal awareness. We are entering an era where the concept of what the right path is no longer exists as it once did. Perhaps you are still being influenced by old notions, by things people say that make you anxious from those who believe you should do this or that to be more secure. But in reality, you don't need to worry. You don't need to worry at all. Because the things that are right for you, the paths that align with your energy and essence, are gradually appearing before you. Your future is not limited. It is not narrow. There is no such thing as who is better or worse than who. It's simply that you are following a different path. And that doesn't make you inferior to anyone. Don't let yourself get caught up in comparisons. I believe that among the people who care about you, there are those who genuinely worry for you, but they worry in the way of the old generation, with fears deeply ingrained in old thinking. While you are living in a very different world, one where freedom, flexibility, and individuality are the real sources of power. Just be yourself. Follow your own rhythm of life. You don't have to race to keep up with anyone. You don't need to force yourself. Even if your work isn't a steady, ongoing routine, that's perfectly fine. You can work hard for a period, then take a few months off to recharge, then come back and work powerfully again, and repeat the cycle. There's nothing wrong with that. It's simply another way of living, a way that suits you perfectly. All of these are just examples, but the overall spirit is, you can live and grow at your own pace, without needing permission from anyone, without needing to be like anyone else. You are the type of person who operates by accumulating and then releasing, by building up and then letting go. Therefore, if you're currently in a state of stagnation, feeling discouraged or disappointed in yourself, the first thing I want to say is, absolutely don't blame yourself. In the past, monks or wise individuals often withdrew into caves, into quiet places to meditate and reflect on their inner selves. This was completely normal and even considered necessary for spiritual growth. Nowadays, if you simply take a pause, rest for a bit, you are immediately judged, talked about, and then you start to feel guilty, feel that you're wrong. But in reality, those moments of rest are a very important part of your life's process. It's not weakness. It's a stage where you are reorganizing within yourself, adjusting your inner strength system. If you are deprived of that precious time, you will feel exhausted and lost. So, don't let anyone take that away from you. Rest, truly rest, in a rightful and peaceful way. Another card has appeared with the image of you being inside a walled enclosure, like hiding in a cave. But that wall is not a prison. On the other side of the wall, the moonlight is appearing, meaning the door is always there. When you're ready, when you feel solid enough, you will find the key to step into the light. You're not trapped. You're choosing to stay to recover, to prepare. And the message from the cards right now is, you are gradually learning to balance between your own rhythm of life and others' expectations, between the need for rest and the pressure to prove yourself. That balance is about to be established in a more natural, sustainable way. The judgments, criticisms, or misunderstandings from the outside that you're stopping, weak, giving up, all of that will soon come to an end. Even the way you have viewed yourself during your period of rest as something negative, the guilt, the feelings of inferiority, will gradually fade away. You will begin to see yourself more clearly, and those around you will also learn to understand you, accepting your unique rhythm of life, where each pause is merely a step back to leap forward stronger than ever. Of course, for some of you, the current situation where you feel unable to act will also be resolved clearly and practically. If the reason you are stopping is due to economic circumstances or family situations preventing you from doing what you want, it's very likely that changes will begin to happen in those areas. The key card has appeared, not just once, but several times, as a strong confirmation that a real opportunity is approaching. A turning point, a push, will open the door that you felt was locked for so long. When that opportunity comes, you'll be able to break free from the stuck feeling, escape the seemingly hopeless stage. The balance between the things you have to do and the things you truly want to do will be reestablished, naturally, gently, and in alignment with your rhythm of life. The cards are saying, you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Everything will be okay. If right now you are thinking, I'm at a standstill, I'm not okay, I'm not good enough, know that this is completely untrue. On the contrary, the cards feel that from this point onward, you will enter a period where softness, flexibility, and nonlinearity, all the things that once made you seem unconventional, will become your strengths. You will no longer have to live by the rigid standards of others. The coming era will be your era, an era where flexibility in thinking, sensitivity to emotions, and adaptability in actions will become the key values. It seems that society is also gradually returning to more natural, profound, and personal values, instead of relentlessly chasing linear, rigid development as it did before. Old definitions of success, of norms, of ways of living, are gradually being reestablished, redefined. And you, who once felt lost among those principles, will be the one to find your own rhythm in the new era. What once made you feel different now becomes what earns you recognition. And as everything changes like this, it's likely that those who once blamed you, even if they thought they were encouraging you, or those who pressured you, who made you feel cornered, will begin to change their perspective. It might be because their worldview was limited before, so they couldn't understand you. But once social values shift, they won't be able to hold onto old ways of thinking anymore. Therefore, for you, two important things are about to happen. First, the inability to act, the state of paralysis or stagnation, will come to an end. And second, the judgment you once faced, the guilt you felt for needing rest, for slowing down, all of that will cease. You will no longer feel guilty about yourself. You will gradually realize that pause was not a failure, but an essential part of the process of growth. You will understand yourself more. And then, you will also live in an environment where others begin to understand and appreciate how you live, how you work, and how you rest. A healthier, easier environment is gradually forming around you. Do you feel that something in these words is speaking directly to you? The cards today also point to something very important. The soul care card has appeared. But soul care here is not simply about healing. It's also the source of positive energy. When you know how to care for the deepest part of yourself, you will radiate light. The positivity that comes from within is nurtured, not from forcing yourself to always be strong. Therefore, remember, your resting is not laziness. Your pausing is not avoiding. All the cards today are confirming this. This is not running away, this is caring. And you deserve to rest with dignity, with full respect. If you are in an environment that does not allow this, where you are not allowed to rest, where you are not allowed to be yourself, that too will soon change. You don't need to ask anyone for permission to be at peace.
Peace is your right.
And you will find it. If anyone is criticizing or judging you, honestly, that only shows their lack of understanding. I really want to tell them once and for all, please listen and understand this person correctly. Because if a genuine conversation is possible, I believe they will realize the wonderful difference in you. And if you have ever felt lonely because of this, I want you to know that loneliness is not because you are wrong, but because you are operating on a different, deeper frequency. The card that appears now is not the Tower from traditional tarot, which usually symbolizes collapse or upheaval, but here, it represents the opposite, a solid foundation, a strong and stable structure. In your case, it carries the message that you are not isolated, not abandoned. On the contrary, you are in a very valuable position, a safe place that many others are still searching for. And then, a miracle will begin. More and more people will want to listen to you, want to be around you, want to learn from you. Your energy will begin to spread, and you will become an inspiring role model for others. Not because you are trying to be recognized, but because of your naturalness, because of how you live true to yourself. You will become the light that attracts like-minded souls. The next card represents a deep connection, and it is saying that you are fully embraced and protected by your spiritual guides. The connection between you and the higher souls, whether it's a guardian deity, ancestors, or sacred spiritual sources, is incredibly strong. If you have ever watched readings related to spirit guides or ancestors, you might recognize a meaningful coincidence here. But what's even more special is, I'm asking about your future. And the cards confirm that in that future, you will no longer need to struggle to live true to yourself. Because that what is called living authentically is sometimes very hard to define and practice. Instead, you will live with your most natural essence, unbound, not forced into any mold. Your personality and identity, what makes you different, will be recognized and respected. No longer compared, no longer chasing anyone else's standards. You will live your own way, gently, without forcing, without shame. And that is true freedom. The environment and circumstances that are right for you are gradually taking shape. And before this becomes truly complete, there is something very important that the cards want to remind you. If you are still blaming yourself, still being harsh on yourself, it's time to let that go. Don't hurt yourself any further. As I shared earlier, the Soul Care card is delivering a strong message about nurturing the heart. The image of the tulip also carries a similar meaning, that you need to relax, to nourish yourself from within. Another message being sent to you is, take time for yourself. Create space for your inner care. This does not mean you are wasting time. Even when you are resting, taking time for yourself is not simply about resting. It's a process of listening and seeking what truly makes your heart feel light. It could be meditation, writing, reading a book, or going to a place that makes you feel at ease. Allow yourself the freedom to do what makes you happy. Let yourself be at peace without feeling guilty. You are in the process of adjusting your heart. That is something all the cards today are emphasizing. Allow yourself to go to places that bring you peace. Seek out the things that make you smile, and never feel guilty for doing so. Your era is coming. It will definitely come. If anyone still feels left behind, if they still feel inferior, remember this. It's not that you are less than anyone else. It's just that this era has yet to catch up with your frequency. But that moment is approaching. You don't need to try to become someone else. You just need to be yourself. And then everything will begin to unfold in a very natural way. However, I also understand that there are some people, even after hearing all of this, still feel inadequate, still feel disappointed because they're stuck, not accomplishing anything specific. So, I ask the cards to indicate the moment when you will begin to clearly feel the shift in your circumstances. And the message from the cards is, from July onward, the atmosphere around you will gradually change. Everything, both inside and outside, will start to move. What was once stagnant, what seemed to be stuck in place, will gradually clear up. From July, you will clearly see light starting to seep through the crack in the door. And you, finally, will step out exactly as you are meant to be. Yes. You may be feeling incredibly pressured right now, even weighed down by expectations or confusion inside. But that's okay. Everything will be fine. I truly hope that you can think, I can be myself as I am now, and that's okay. You don't need to be anyone else. You don't need to force yourself to be worthy. You, as you are enough. And then, the next card appeared as a strong confirmation. I asked, what is coming to you in the future? And the answer is, victory, success, great joy, and the opening of good fortune. Yes. You may have once felt stuck, thinking, no matter how hard I try, nothing goes right. But that phase is coming to an end. From around July, the atmosphere around you will begin to shift. And the period from July to October will be a very powerful time for you, a phase with much positive movement. The miracle is that you yourself will also feel the change in energy within you. The energy of fire, the source of motivation, passion, and vitality, will rise. You will feel the urge to begin doing something. Inspiration will return. Your willpower will be ignited from within. And trust that you are resting to prepare for that moment. If you are the one who is resting, taking some time to step back, allow yourself to rest fully, without guilt or fear. If you feel that you haven't rested enough but have been caught up in the cycle of trying hard all this time, the cards are saying, from July onward, your luck will improve significantly. You will see everything starting to flow more smoothly, more easily, and more favorably. So now you don't need to force yourself or push yourself to achieve results anymore. Instead, try to live in the flow, letting yourself go with the natural rhythm. There's no need to resist, no need to push too hard. Be flexible and receptive, because your energy is gradually adjusting, and the moment to take action will come when you are ready. You are not being left behind. You are simply taking a pause to gather strength. And the fire within you is about to blaze. Recently, we just went through the new moon in Taurus, and at this moment, there is an energy of slowing down, even a sense of failure, spreading throughout the atmosphere. Therefore, during the period from May to around June, you don't need to force yourself too hard. If you're unsure whether to give your all now or to step back for a while to conserve your energy, the cards are saying, choose to step back. Allow yourself to pause. Because the moment for you to truly break through, to regain your position and energy, will start from July onward. That will be when you can turn everything around in a much more positive direction. If someone is hurting you right now, those who speak words that break your heart, you can absolutely share that. I will now conclude the reading for those who chose pile 2 here. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to support me. Your encouragement is a great source of motivation that helps me continue bringing more meaningful readings. If something in today's messages touched your heart, leave a comment or simply a small symbol to let me know that it truly connected with you. I always cherish each share and look forward to hearing your thoughts. Thank you for watching until the end of the video. I look forward to seeing you in the next readings. Hello to those who chose pile 3. Thank you for waiting. Now I will begin the reading for those who picked pile number 3. I hope this reading brings you healing, new insights, and moments full of love. Today's theme is, what is ending, and what new beginnings are about to take place in your life? And you know what? This reading is revealing something very profound. What is ending is not just about you personally, but it also touches the roots, the things that have been passed down from your ancestors, from your family, through many generations. You may feel that this resonates with you. In your family, from parents, grandparents to previous generations, there seems to be a repeating chain, a cycle of pain, of hurt, of wrong choices, or recurring tragedies. A certain negative cycle has been maintained for too long, and now you are the one chosen to end it. If you don't feel that this is related to you, perhaps you might want to consider another option. Because today's message is specifically for those carrying a heavy part of destiny, something they know isn't entirely their own, but something inherited from the flow of their family. A clear example is, in your family, there may have been repeated divorces over many generations. This is not to say that divorce is inherently bad, but if you've carried the fear of whether your own children might experience the same thing, this is the answer for you. No. What has repeated from generation to generation will end with you. You are the stopping point. And thanks to you, those who come after, children, your partner, even pets, or anyone you love, will no longer have to bear that burden. You are not the one who caused this chain of tragedies, but you are the one with the strength to end it. And you have already done so, or you are approaching the final stage. I can clearly feel that you have been through a lot of inner turmoil, the vague feelings of why you always get pulled into these situations. Why do you carry the pain that you didn't create? But you have already overcome the hardest part. And from this moment onward, those influences will no longer be present in your life. And most importantly, they will never be passed down to those you love. Yes. The negative repeating cycles, the harmful influences that were tied to everything you loved, to the things you put your heart and soul into, all of that will end. Something very long, very deep, very old, has finally reached its conclusion. This is a comprehensive ending, and also the beginning of a new flow. In fact, in the choices of this reading, many people carry deep burdens, but for you, what is being released is closely tied to your ancestors, to the flows from distant pasts. Perhaps you have been someone who thought, how can I change destiny? How can I alter what is repeated from one generation to the next? And you have carried that torment for a long time. But the answer is, it is possible. And you are the one who has done it. You have changed your fate through sincerity, through living kindly, and with your honest heart. It is the consistency in your character that has unraveled the inherited knots, that has cleared the flow that has long been muddied. And your ancestors, they are watching over you and acknowledging everything. I have a very strong feeling that many of you who chose this reading have connected with or received messages from your ancestors through previous readings. It's possible that the repeating cycle is related to marriage, like the example I mentioned earlier about repeated divorces in the family. But it could also be related to money, such as unexplained losses, bankruptcy, or always being in a state of scarcity. Or it could be accidents, illness, or disturbances in relationships. Whatever that cycle is, it will end with you. You are the one who has cleared the mirror of destiny. And that is an incredibly great achievement. You no longer need to try harder to prove your worth, because you've already done it. You have put an end to it by living in alignment with your heart. You didn't let bitterness or darkness consume you, even when you were exhausted at times. And as a final mark, the Dreamcatcher card appears. This card carries the message of completion. You have completed a soul cycle. something that has repeated through countless generations, ends here with you. You've done something that not everyone can do, transforming a flow of destiny. Of course, not everything you received from your ancestors is negative. There are still blessings, beautiful qualities that you carry within you. But because you've cleared the darkness, what remains from here will be light. And that deserves to be honored. Yes, the negative cycle, the unhealthy karmic flow, is about to end in this very lifetime of yours. This is what is about to happen, and one of the deepest transformations you have ever gone through. There is a very strong sense that you are not just ending something related to family, ancestors, but also a lesson that is stretched across many past lives. Perhaps you have carried this lesson from a past life. You may have tried to face it, made efforts to resolve it, but couldn't fully overcome it, and so, your soul chose to return, chose to continue this journey, so that this time it could truly transform. You may not remember this mission clearly, but deep within, your soul has never forgotten. And now, the sky is beginning to clear. The heavy karmic clouds that have lingered for generations are slowly dissipating, and the sunlight is beginning to shine through. The card with the image of the sun shining brightly is a confirmation that an unexpected turning point will occur. You may not think that it will come, but it will come, and it will come powerfully, decisively. A fateful shift. A door that seemed impossible to open will now open. After that moment, the flow will start moving very quickly. The transformation will unfold like a domino effect. And you, who were once bound by limitations, who once thought that you could only choose from a few constrained options, will now begin to make choices from the heart again. You once carried a dream, but that dream was left behind because of fear, because of limitations, because of the past. But this time, you will no longer be held back by those things. What weighs heavily on you is not just a relationship, a job, or a specific situation. The pain inside you goes deeper than that. It is the longing about origins, family, and things that have been present since the moment you were born. You may have asked yourself, why was I born into this environment? Why do I always face these kinds of things? And the answer is, so that you can be the one to end the cycle. And you've done it. That flow is about to stop. Everything that once held you back, whether visible or invisible, will no longer affect you. And it will no longer be passed on to anyone you love. The generations after you, whether children, partners, or other spiritual connections, will live in a much gentler, healthier, and freer flow. Because you chose to face it, and you have reached the very end. You are the one who ends it, and you are also the one who opens it. It is because you have lived with sincerity, integrity, and a heart full of love that you have been able to end this negative cycle. And right now, the energy from your ancestors is pouring in, incredibly warm, profound, and filled with love. I truly cannot put this feeling into words. Not only because words are limited, but because this feeling really transcends all language. The love and gratitude your ancestors are sending you is not just a thank you. It is tearful, heartfelt, and deeply empathic from the souls who have witnessed the entire journey you have been through. They feel sorrow because you have had to bear things that were not yours to carry, facing the pain that has been passed down from previous generations all on your own. They didn't want you to suffer. But now they are happy, truly moved, because you have done it. You have freed what they were once powerless to change. And they have nothing more to say, except silently watch over you, with teary eyes, whispering their thanks from the other side. You may not realize it clearly, but if you pay attention, you may notice a similarity between your parents and your children, or between the previous and the next generations in your family. And you are the one standing in the middle, holding both lines of energy. You are the only one who can retain, filter, and transform them. You've done it, perhaps quietly, perhaps unnoticed, but your ancestors are well aware. If you've ever felt lonely, like you were the only one carrying the burden, facing things that no one understood, know now that you are not alone. And because of that strength, from now on, everything you love, your children, your loved ones, your sacred connections, will be transformed. A new flow of life is being awakened. A restoration and rebirth is beginning. And you are the beginning of it all. No more breaks in the chain. No more old cycles. Everything will gradually become whole, peaceful, and clear. This is a soul transformation, and you are the one who has opened that door. And then, something new will begin for you. That is, you will receive help. Support will appear at the right time, from the right people, in the right place. You will no longer have to struggle alone. From here, the things you once thought you couldn't have, that you didn't belong to, or that weren't meant for you, will begin to gently knock on your heart. Perhaps before, you saw something beautiful, a dream, an opportunity, a different life, and told yourself, it's just an illusion. You may have thought, that doesn't exist in reality, or I'm not in a position to enter that world. For example, if you struggled with financial issues, you may have passed by luxury stores, distant dreams, and thought, that place isn't for me. But the cards today are very clear. Those mists will clear away. The limits you once believed were real turn out to be nothing more than thin dust from the past. They will be washed away, and the light of truth, hope, and real opportunities will begin to shine into your life. A card with an incredibly strong energy has also appeared to emphasize this. This card not only carries the energy of the sun, illuminating and reviving, but also brings with it the feeling of peace after a storm. It seems you have lived in a state of constant tension, always having to push yourself, always busy, always in effort mode. But that is about to end. A phase of enjoying peace is coming to you. A new chapter, where you are no longer the only one who has to bear it all. You will no longer have to do everything alone. Hands will reach out. The right people will come. The things you once wanted to do, the places you longed to go, but always felt you weren't qualified for. Now, you'll be able to access them naturally. You will be guided to them. Support will come. Not because you are weak, but because you've already gone so far on your own, and now it's time for you to be lifted up. This is the time when you begin to live more gently, more lovingly, and be received more. This is not an illusion. It is the new reality waiting for you to step into. Then, another card jumped out during the draw, the card symbolizing stability. This is a very important signal. This card shows that you will not have to return to what once made you weary. No more. I thought I had overcome it, but then I was pulled back to the old place. Not anymore. Once you step out, you will not be dragged back. You will begin a phase of living with peace, living in a state of support, and being free to do what you want. No more burdens. No more feeling alone in the dark. A new rhythm of life, where you can feel stillness, fulfillment, and love, is gradually becoming the stable foundation in your life. And even more wonderful is, this new state of being will spread to those you love. From your family, your children, pets, to other important relationships, all will benefit from the light and stability you've just found. This is no longer just a personal change. This is a transformation with far-reaching influence. Truly, the message today has come to you much stronger than I anticipated. What you are ending, and what you are about to begin, is no small matter. It's a complete transformation, a new chapter of destiny. If you feel that there is something in your family that has repeated through many generations, a certain kind of hurt, instability, or a form of being stuck, I truly hope you can share that in the comments. Not just because I want to know, but also so that you can be understood, heard, and know that you are not alone. We are together, touching very deep layers of the soul. Because I can clearly feel that a heavy layer of energy that once surrounded you, that once blocked the helping hands reaching out to you, is gradually being lifted. And when that layer is removed, the help that the universe has already prepared for you will begin to reach you. Not because you were ever unworthy, but because, in the past, something invisible had obscured those things from your grasp. A part of karma, like a thick veil, had once covered your shoulders, and now it is being taken down. You are not wrong. It is not your fault. If there have been moments when you asked yourself, why me? Why is everything so difficult? Please know that everything you have gone through is not because you are not good enough, but because you are doing something far more sacred than you realize, clearing karma for an entire lineage. And you have already done it. Now is the time for you to receive your reward. And as I said before, perhaps you are someone who has carried the feeling, last time, I couldn't do it, but this time I will. Many who chose this pile may be souls who have carried this lesson from a past life, and in this current life, you return with a strong determination. This time, I will complete it. That is why, whenever a worry or challenge arises in your life, you don't just stop at solving the surface-level problem. You always dig deeper. You always ask, why does this keep happening? Where is the root of it? Why do I still feel like something is off, even though everything seems okay on the outside? You have sensed the instability very early on, not because you are weak, but because your soul is sensitive enough to know solving only the surface is not enough. To truly change, you need to change at the root. And you have done it. You have truly changed, deeply and completely. Looking at the image in this card, there is a trench, a trap. Before, no matter how hard you tried, every time you took a step forward, you would fall into that trap. It felt like Why do I keep going back to the same old place? Why do I fall into that same familiar pattern? But this time it's different. This time, you are mature enough, wise enough, and strong enough to overcome it. That trap no longer pulls you down. You are now high enough, strong enough to step over it, to place both feet firmly on the other side of the trench. And most importantly, you will never fall into that pit again. Not only you, but also those who come after you, those you love, will no longer be pulled into that trench. This is not just luck. It is the result of a process of purification, awakening, and the courage to face the darkness. Then, when I drew another card to confirm everything that has been shared, a wonderful card appeared. Fire Lily. This card connects directly to higher beings, the spirits of the departed, soul guides, those from the other side. They are sending you a message. You will do it. You're doing very well. And we have absolute trust in you. The energy from the higher realms is embracing you, comforting you, and empowering you. You are not alone. And you are being watched over, supported, and uplifted, step by step, to fulfill the noble mission that your soul has chosen. You have entered an entirely new phase, one where the old patterns will no longer repeat. And this time, you will not stop halfway. You will see it through to the end, because that light is no longer far away. It is right inside you. And the next message comes from a card depicting a scroll, symbolizing ancient knowledge, telling you that the primal truth lies within your soul. This once again confirms that you carry a great deal from previous generations. In today's reading, we focus on what will end, possibly the negative cycles, the inherited burdens, but don't forget that, alongside what you need to let go of, you have also inherited many valuable gifts. The honesty, the sincerity that you always carry within you, it's not just your personal trait. It's something you were passed down, a part of the soul heritage you are continuing to live. And above all, you carry an energy that is easy to love. Your essence is that of someone with a magnetic field of affection. You don't need to try too hard, but you still tend to be trusted by superiors, respected by colleagues, and sought after for support by those younger than you. However, during the time when you were still immersed in the darkness of karmic influences, you may have felt that this was overshadowed, or you may have doubted yourself. But in reality, the ability to be loved, the ability to connect with sincerity, has always been there. And now, as everything begins to change, that loving energy will be awakened again. You will no longer be imprisoned by the past. You will begin to step into a phase where you are truly embraced as you are. Not only that, the support you truly deserve will come more, and it will come more clearly. Not just in the spiritual sense, but also in the physical sense. This card also carries a message about health. If you've ever felt exhausted, ever longed for freedom, but your body wouldn't allow it, rest assured. Your health will begin to stabilize, gradually recovering through the process of karmic liberation. The shackles have dissolved. Now is the time for your body and mind to begin restructuring in a healthy, stable, and free way. And the Fire Lily card, symbolizing light, life, and faith, once again affirms, this is the time for you to start focusing on yourself. Focus completely, without distraction from others, without being bound by unnecessary responsibilities, without needing to push through while carrying burdens. A new era begins, a time when you live for yourself, with gratitude for the past and full brilliance for the future. You know, with everything you've accomplished, when you complete this lifetime's journey and return to the higher realms, you will receive a great blessing from the world of spirits. A sacred welcoming ceremony. And even right now, you are already receiving that connection. The cards show very clearly, you are connected to a higher energy plane, and the souls there are watching over you with all their tenderness. You are about to complete a tremendously significant mission. And once completed, you will feel deep in your soul, I have done it. I have lived true to my mission. It will feel like a warrior of light, after many years of quietly waiting, finally returning with a heart full and proud. You may still feel confused right now. What should I do next? How do I overcome my current situation? Am I on the right path? But even if you don't see the path clearly, you are still moving forward, step by step, with small changes, subtle shifts in your thinking and awareness. Life may seem the same each day, but in reality, you are no longer the same person. You are evolving. You are changing. And that is the core. Although yesterday and today may seem alike, your inner self, your thinking, emotions, understanding, is expanding and maturing bit by bit. This is why you've made it this far. Because you never stopped asking yourself, how can I live better? What should I change? How can I heal? That's why you've broken the old cycle. And the cards confirm once again. Soon, help from the outside will come. The hands ready to lift you will appear. You will no longer have to do everything on your own. When I drew the final card, a powerful confirmation appeared, exactly as I had been feeling and expecting. The card that came out completely aligns with the intuitive sense of your future. A future with nothing negative holding you back. A future bright with faith and hope. All you need to do now is keep moving forward. Gently. Honestly. With deep gratitude. Because your future is truly amazing. In life, worries and challenges may never completely cease. But for you, someone who has already overcome the tough journey you just went through, from now on, you will no longer view those challenges as pain. You will gain a new inner strength, tranquility, a heart that has weathered storms, no longer being subdued by light winds. In fact, something very special that has appeared in the cards is, you may have a moment when you unexpectedly feel afraid. Not because something bad is coming, but because everything will become so light that you'll ask yourself, am I dreaming? Is it really possible for me to live this comfortably? The change in destiny often doesn't come with bells ringing, no specific evidence. No one comes to tell you. From here on, your life has turned a new page. But you will know. You will feel it. Because it will appear in every breath, in every moment you walk forward, no longer being held back by any burdens from the past. Then the next two cards appeared, the letter and the fox. The letter represents messages, news, and beginnings that may come unexpectedly. The fox, symbolizing intellect, sharpness, and cleverness in handling situations. These two cards are suggesting that a piece of news, an opportunity, or a pivotal offer will come to you. It could be a real letter, an email, a message, or a proposal. And this will contain hints, solutions, or a way out for the issue you've been pondering. It could also come from a smart, sharp person, someone who will appear to support you, directly or indirectly. This support may come in the form of them helping you or helping those around you, thus lightening your load. Either way, the appearance of this person will change your life in a very practical way. And finally, the child card appears. If you are someone who has been trying on your own, a single mother, or a person putting everything into life, then this indicates that a beautiful connection is approaching. Not for everyone, but for some of you, a new encounter, gentle, bright, carrying healing and nurturing energy, is coming. Whether in work, family life, or love, new doors, new faces, and new emotions are about to appear. And you, after all, deserve to welcome them with complete peace in your heart. Yes, the boat of destiny is coming to take you. And the arrangement of the cards today is truly so wonderful that it moves me deeply. You don't need to do much right now. All you need to do is step onto that boat and let it carry you to a new chapter, where you are gentle, loved, and living true to your heart. The image of your future is one that is loved so much, it almost feels like too much. Gifts will be sent to you from higher dimensions because you have lived true to your mission. And the souls from there are telling you, well done. You've made it. Love and support will not only come from the invisible realms, but will also manifest in your real life. The people who come to you from now on will not only accompany you, but will also see supporting you as a joy, as part of their mission. If you are single and longing for a deep connection, you may meet that person. They will bring a kind of love that is completely different from anything you've experienced before. If you already have a family, then your current relationship will transform into something closer and more bonded. New family connections may arise. Sincere affection from those who truly want to be by your side, help you, and protect you. That person, whoever they may be, will be someone you can trust. They may speak the words for you that you can't say, stand by your side when you feel vulnerable. They won't require you to always be strong. They will be the one to tell you, you don't need to force anymore. Let me take care of the rest. And you will truly be able to breathe. So you no longer need to push yourself further. From now on, you will live as yourself, doing what you want when you feel ready. What you love, whether it's your family, pets, projects, or passions, will be protected. You won't have to worry anymore. A new phase begins where you don't need to fight, but just accept. A life that is protected, loved, lived deeply without doubt. I will now conclude the reading for those who chose pile 3. If what I've shared has been helpful or simply interesting to you, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit like to support me. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch until the end of the video. I wish you a peaceful and lucky day. See you again in the next readings.